Welcome to African Today, the voice of a changing continent. We bring you the stories shaping Africa's present and future, from breaking news and bold analysis to culture, innovation, and voices on the ground. We're here to inform, inspire, and amplify the heartbeat of Africa every single day. Thank you for stopping by the channel. We hope you enjoy our video. Let's begin. Trump deports thousands of migrants to Africa on purpose. What's really behind the sudden surge in deportations to the motherland? In a stunning and controversial move that has drawn global attention, former President Donald Trump, now back in the spotlight as the presumptive Republican nominee for the 2024 election, is reportedly behind a renewed and aggressive push to deport thousands of undocumented migrants to African nations. This calculated policy shift, which appears to intentionally target migrants of African descent, has ignited outrage among human rights organizations, immigration advocates, and several African leaders, while being praised by Trump's hardline base. But what exactly is happening? Why now? And is this a political tactic or something more? The background: Trump's return and renewed immigration agenda. Donald Trump built his initial political rise on tough anti-immigration rhetoric. From the infamous border wall to travel bans targeting Muslim-majority nations, his first term was marked by an America First immigration strategy. Since re-emerging as a dominant political force in the 2024 race, Trump has leaned heavily into the same rhetoric. Only this time, his focus appears to have shifted more visibly toward African migrants. According to immigration enforcement data leaked in May 2025, thousands of migrants, many of whom arrived in the U.S. via Central and South America, have been deported to African countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. A shift in strategy, return to origin policy. Trump and his advisors are reportedly labeling this initiative the Return to Origin policy, a vague and ominous title that critics say is rooted in racial overtones rather than legitimate immigration enforcement. The idea, sources close to the former administration say, is to send a message to the world that America will no longer serve as a haven for undocumented migration, especially from regions deemed non-priority for U.S. labor markets. The Biden administration had previously focused on Central America and humanitarian asylum reforms. However, since the shift in political winds, immigration officers have been instructed, unofficially some claim, to prioritize African nationals for deportation, especially those detained near the southern border. The numbers: who's being deported. Between January and May 2025, reports estimate that over 15,000 African migrants were rounded up and deported via expedited removal orders. These individuals, many of whom spent months or years traveling through multiple countries, were apprehended primarily in Texas, Arizona, and California. Their nationalities span the continent, with a majority reportedly from Nigeria, fleeing religious and ethnic violence; Cameroon, escaping civil war and repression; Eritrea, avoiding forced military conscription; Senegal and Gambia, driven by economic desperation. Shockingly, several deportees included children born in the United States or individuals with valid asylum claims still under legal review. The political calculus: why Africa? Why now? Observers believe this Africa-focused deportation policy is not just about immigration enforcement, it's about optics, politics, and control. One red meat for the base. Trump's core supporters have long supported mass deportations, targeting migrants from Africa, whom he once infamously described as coming from sh-hole countries, plays into the racialized narrative of reclaiming American identity. Too low diplomatic resistance. African nations, often heavily reliant on U.S. aid and lacking strong diplomatic leverage, are viewed as easier partners in deportation agreements. Some countries have silently accepted plane loads of deportees without protest. 3. Deflecting from domestic issues. As inflation rises and social unrest grows across the U.S., Trump's team may be using immigration crackdowns to distract and redirect public anger toward outsiders. African nations react: we are not your dumping ground. African leaders have not remained silent. In a fiery speech at the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed denounced the U.S. policy as neo-colonial expulsion cloaked in legal jargon. Nigeria's foreign minister summoned the U.S. ambassador in Abuja, demanding an explanation for the uncoordinated influx of deportees. Ghana, meanwhile, has refused entry to over 200 nationals without documentation proving identity or citizenship. "We are not your dumping ground," said Cameroon's Minister of the Interior. "If America has failed to manage its immigration problem, do not make Africa your scapegoat." Humanitarian fallout. Deportees are arriving with few belongings, no local support, and often no clear ties to the countries they're being sent to. In Lagos, reporters found several recently returned individuals sleeping in abandoned warehouses, unable to speak local languages or connect with family. One 23-year-old deportee from Chicago said, "I haven't been to Nigeria since I was 3. My parents brought me here. I went to school in Illinois. Now I'm in a place I don't even remember." Human rights groups, including Amnesty International and the ACLU, are calling the deportations state-sanctioned exile, demanding a congressional investigation. What happens next? As the U.S. election season heats up, immigration will again be center stage. Trump's deportation push, especially toward Africa, could become a lightning rod issue. Critics argue it's a violation of international norms. Supporters call it a necessary move to restore order. The stakes are high. Lives are being upended, international relations are fraying, and the political divide in America continues to deepen. One thing is certain: the world is watching. Tags Trump 2024 immigration crisis, Africa deportation, human rights, asylum seekers, Africa news, U.S. politics 2025, America first, migrant crisis # deportation policy. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to help grow the channel. Until next time, see you soon.